everybody, my name is Mitchell.
Hi, I'm Bill.
And today we're going to talk about the upcoming Vernal Equinox, also known as Ostara or Joster, which is what Ostara is based off the West German goddess of fertility and human crops. But first, let's talk about what's coming up.
What do we got coming up?
On the 23rd, we're going to have our public Ostara ritual.
That is awesome.
So it's open to everybody, so it's free. So come and join us. Also, the first Friday of the month is Tea and Tarot.
Right.
The third Friday of the month is Sips and Stars, and I believe we're doing MCP on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah. So the fourth Thursday of the month of March will be the first back in person MCP. So we'll have that coming up, and people will do that and sit down. Of course, we'll still be doing the podcast.
Yep, we'll still be broadcasting, but it will be in person.
It'll be in person, so hopefully you guys can join us for that. And that's going to be on Thursday. And the teas and sips all start at 6:30, and so does MCP. So 6:30 is our magic time.
Yes.
For all those things to start.
That is our witching hour.
Yeah, so get off work and come join us. And of course, the ritual is going to be at 12 on that Saturday, the 23rd. So I hope you guys come and join us. We also have coming up this Saturday is Full Contact Tarot with Skaji. 6-hour intensive. Yeah.
It is as interesting as it sounds. It is a great class. If you like, looking for not only the how-to, but the history of. It is a really good class. It goes into the explanation of, starting
the journey. Yeah.
The journey, not only through the cards, but through the life of tarot and where it came from.
Really good. And then April 27th, we're having the Hades of the Underworld lecture.
Yes.
And book signing with that author coming in. And then on the 28th and the 29th and 30th, Christopher Penzak will be here in June.
Yep.
And I'll be teaching on Friday, Healing Plant, and on Saturday and Sunday, which is a 2-day class of the Soul of Witchcraft.
Right. So it's even though it's over 3 days, it's 2 classes. Friday is 1 class, and Saturday and Sunday is is 1 class. It's in 2 parts.
Yeah. So information is on our website. You can sign up there. Of course, you can also come in and sign up here in person. Yeah. So all right. So let's jump into the Vernal Equinox.
Yes.
So obviously the day and the night are equal. And of course, a lot of things go on in spring. We think about, now we're starting to plant and everything, which is this is always going to be about agriculture. It comes back down to that. And so it's that rebirth.
And as a side note, here in Alabama, our growing season, well, wait a minute, we're not planting just yet, or we've already started planting. We're looking at things that were mostly done in Europe or in the British Isles. So that's where a lot of this timing and timeline comes from. Yeah. So it's not necessarily what's local to us. It's just the tradition that has carried over.
And the big thing is, because over there, the equinox is when you start.
Yes.
We can get away with going generally a little bit earlier, although some winters smack us a little hard at the end. It's usually the dogwoods bloom first. But so this is going to be a rejuvenate, a reinvent yourself kind of time, because it is spring. Life is coming back. We've gone through winter. Now the green, the sprout, the dragon's eyes warming the earth. The breath feeds it, and so the green's coming back. I will say a great book to look at is Walking the Tides by Nigel Pearson. It goes in different timings and different aspects of Ostara, just not what you normally read about.
Right.
And so it really does a great job of giving you different points of reference and things throughout the whole spring.
Yeah, it's a great different perspective.
Yeah, it does the wheel. It does the entire wheel. So it's the Walking the Tides, which is the entire year.
Yes.
So that's that book right here. So really, a really great book. So definitely recommend it. It's a good read. All right, so let's start off with the myth first.
Okay.
Now there have been several,
right.
And I know that some, the origination of Ostara, the ritual, we'll look at it that way, the celebration is in question. Some people go, it's really old, some people go, it's modern. I got more of a feeling it's going to be in the middle of that. It's not quite as old as we thought it was, but it's not modern either.
Right, it's not, it didn't start in the 60s.
Yeah, so much. And Ostara is named for the West goddess Joster.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The Germanic gods.
Yes, West German. But depending how far it goes back, depends whether that was more Celtic or not. Because you'll see a lot of times the Celtic versus German, it really comes into play when, because at one point the Celts spread all through that region.
Oh, absolutely.
And when they broke apart, that's what became the Germanic and Teutonic tribes. So I guess it really just comes upon that timing. All right. So the myth, one of them, and you may have another one, but is Yoster found a bird that had a broken wing that was nearly frozen.
Right.
And she knew that if even healing it, it would never fly again.
Right.
So she turned it into a hare so it could be quick and fast and escape hunters and things like that.
Escape the predators.
Right, escape predators. And in honor or recognition or being thankful, the hare will still lay eggs.
Right, it still retained that bird. Its inner bird self.
But it laid colored eggs, and that's where that colored egg aspect comes from. That's just one little story about I share with you.
Which I think is a really cool story because when you think about how that those traditions have been carried along, you think about the symbols that we generally associate with this time of year. Things like chocolate and eggs. These are all fertility things.
Right. I mean, chocolate is an aphrodisiac.
Yes.
The hair, fertility.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it wasn't just the Celts and the Germanic tribes. Throughout the world has used chocolate and eggs as fertility symbols. So these are things that are, multicultural, spanning all across the globe.
Right. And whether it was, where originally how long has chocolate been around, the first candy bar, not that old.
Right.
Right. So the chocolate thing definitely came a little bit later, but
like the Mayans.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to say because the Mayans were having it. They had the cocoa, cow, all the different things.
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely it was that aphrodisiac kind of thing. And we are talking about in a way fertility. We're planting, so we're wanting the crops to come in, not like Beltane. All right. This is more about that beginning. We're planting.
This
we
is
want
preparation.
Yeah, I mean, the seeds are going in the ground.
Yeah, you're putting the seeds in the ground. You're doing the furrowing,
which is in itself a very fertility rite. You know, that whole concept. You can look at it as the seeds in the ground, but insemination hasn't happened yet.
Right. You are impregnating the ground.
Right. So different those stories there, and and there's certain, obviously, like you said, the chocolates and the eggs, but also certain colors. And this is where a lot of times you get those pastel colors, the yellow, the purples, the greens.
Slightly muted but bright colors.
Right. And those are traditional because Ostara, or Yoster, try to pronounce that correctly. Her colors are yellow, green, purple.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have those more, like I said, pastoral kind of colors, pastel.
And when you look at what we just had here in the U.S. with Mardi Gras,
right?
Those things kind of bleed.
Carnival,
which is goodbye meat. So you have those things that just kind of leach out into society, and those influences continue to go out and are represented in a multitude of ways.
So I guess what we can really talk about. I mean, there's obviously not going to be a long podcast because don't talk so much about it. But think about what the spring represents to you. About often that renewal, that rejuvenating, bringing that back into our life, the God being born again, so everything goes through its cycles, so it's things of balance because you got to think, the day and night are the same here,
right?
So
to me, I kind of think of it like like this is the courtship period.
Yeah.
To me, between the goddess and the god, this is sort of the courtship. This is like prom.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
that's the goddess is transitioning from that maiden to that mother phase before we get to Beltane. And so it's it's a transitional period, and it's a maturation. It's a maturing.
Becoming mother at Beltane.
Yeah. And so you have that changing of the seasons, changing of perspective. What now becomes important in your life? So when you're doing this, think about what is becoming important in your life that you want to focus on, and plant those seeds for that focus so that you are able to reap that harvest.
Yeah. So that's Ostara.
It really is. I mean, some cool foods.
Oh yeah,
That I think you're
yeah, some grapefruit. You're right.
Yeah.
So let Bill take that one.
So some things, obviously we mentioned the eggs. And so in looking up some recipes and stuff for Ostara, so I found some interesting ones and thought, that's kind of neat. And one I didn't think I would see was actually eggnog. Is actually a good recipe for, and I know it's generally done at Yule and stuff, but it's eggs. And if you were making your eggnog at Yule and you had some left over, it is still going to be good. It's just a little more mellow by Ostara. Or if you wanted to, start it at Samhain for Yule and at Yule then for Ostara. Also, Scotch eggs,
which I love.
And if you don't know what a Scotch egg is a hard-boiled egg that is then covered in, completely encased, cooked, peeled, completely encased in sausage, egg washed, rolled in breadcrumbs, and then deep fried. And I know that may sound a little off until you try one.
Yeah.
With some mustard.
Oh yeah.
With a good brown mustard.
Yeah, they're good.
It is absolutely a delight.
And a book that if you guys want to look at is the Celtic.
There you go.
There we go. That's a great book.
Celtic Folklore Cookbook by
Joanne
Asala. Yeah. I have that cookbook. In previous jobs, I have used recipes out of this cookbook. They are good. They go through all the different sabbats and traditional cooking from the Celtic tribes and Celtic folk, and they're really easy. It's good stuff, and it will give you, and it'll make you go, oh. And there's a little bit of folklore in there. There's some stories in there, but you'll also be able to find recipes for food and drink for each of the sabbats. And I was looking through there, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Scotch eggs. I wouldn't have not thought of that.
That would be because I think Scott, not West, German.
Absolutely.
But reality is,
they traveled.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I guess we just do a recap of what's coming up. And that's going to be Saturday. That's going to be what's the Saturday? It's the 24th, isn't it?
This Saturday is the 24th.
24th. That's the day of Skaji's Full Contact Tarot. And then the first Friday of March at 6:30 is going to be Tea and Tarot. And then the third Friday of March is going to be Sips and Stars. And the fourth Thursday of March will be
our in-person MCP.
And of course, on the 23rd of March,
we will have
Ostara Ritual. 12 o'clock here.
Yep, public Ostara Ritual. Yep.
So that concludes what we got today.
Pretty much.
It's a short one. All right, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.